Ma'am, stop.
They can't
Store
just
called
take
it
my
in.
food away. We got kids. EBT's gone. What are we supposed to do? Starve? Don't be surprised when we start taking it. People gotta eat.
This student had a meltdown over crazy rent prices.
No, because you, America, for making me pay, or for making me work 4 jobs while I'm in college in rural Tennessee, and I can barely pay my own rent, and I'm taking 19 credit hours on top of those 4 jobs, and I still can't graduate on time, and I still can't graduate early, even though I'm taking 21 credit hours next semester. It's not fair. It's not fair anymore. It's never been fair, not in my lifetime. And will it ever be fair? No, because I'm a woman in America. I just want to live in peace, America. And I will one day. Probably something else.
Half of all renters in the U.S. spend more than 30% of their income on rent. Rising rent prices are pushing record number of Americans towards the threat of homelessness, so the system definitely doesn't work and something needs to be changed.
Everybody wake up! It's time to stand up!
This is the first month I won't be able to afford rent. I'm not a rich person. I don't have a lot of stuff. I have basic household necessities, a couch, a bed, washer, a dryer. That's about it. A car. I don't have a lot of lavish things. I don't go on vacations, and I don't spend a lot. Rent's increased from the food prices are too high. I've cut back on eating because I literally cannot afford food.
Americans are bursting out in tears because of high cost of living. People who are working full-time, doing everything right, yet still can't afford rent, groceries, or basic necessities. This is a reality of the so-called American dream in 2025.
I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I'm $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make $20-some an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
Guys, I want you to forget the headlines right now. The real crisis in America right now is the cost of living. Groceries are up, rent is up, gas, healthcare, insurance, everything costs more. The politicians keep telling us the economy is fine. It's fine. Meanwhile, working Americans are doing the math and falling behind. Inflation is crushing our families. Retirees and blue-collar workers, it's hitting them the hardest, guys. Why is the economy becoming the #1 political issue in the next election? I don't know. Trump says a strong leadership, energy dependence, and America's first economic policy can turn this around. Others say just be patient. Meanwhile, we don't have time to be patient, guys. But patient doesn't pay the bills. So what I want to hear from you, what's gotten more expensive for us this year? I don't know. Seems like everything. What do you think the economy is actually working for regular Americans, or do you think it's working against us? Drop your comments in the below, please, because I need to hear this from other people. Guys, we got to get this under control. It's hitting us all hard. At the pump, at the grocery store, it's hitting us everywhere.
Living in America right now feels like a punishment. You wake up already behind, you go to work just to stay broke, and you watch the cost of everything rise while your paycheck doesn't move an inch. Groceries are a luxury. Rent is robbery. Healthcare is a joke. And somehow we're the ones blamed for not budgeting better. People are working 2-3 jobs and still choosing between food or gas. Families are crammed into apartments because buying a house became a fantasy. You can't afford to get sick. You can't afford to rest. You can't afford to exist. But they keep telling us the economy's strong. Strong for who? Because it sure as hell isn't the people doing the work. We're out here treading water while billionaires build rockets, politicians trade stocks, and corporations raise prices just because they can. We were promised opportunity. We got survival. And what makes this worse is watching people blame themselves. Like somehow you failed because you can't afford a one-bedroom anymore. Like you didn't do enough when the truth is the math just stopped adding up years ago. They told us to work harder, but never told us they'd change the finish line. This isn't a country full of lazy people. It's a country full of exhausted ones. Simple as that.
Hello, True Verdict family. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, this is where we break down issues affecting real people. Today, we are driven into rising cost of living in America, grocery, fuel, gas, rent, and more. And why so many hardworking Americans say their paychecks are not keeping up. Relax, stay with me, and let's unpack this together.
I got a letter recently that my property taxes are going to go up $600 a year from now on. I got a letter that my homeowner's insurance is going up $60 a month. My propane company sent me a letter that my propane is going to double this year. They just came and filled up my tank. It was $1,000. That's crazy. Also, as a entrepreneur and business owner, I get my health insurance through the marketplace. So you have the Affordable Care Act. I pay $45 a month. They just informed me that if this bill passes and I lose my tax credit, I'm going to go from $45 a month to $660 a month for health insurance. I need to buy a new car and I can't because the cars have gotten more expensive and the interest rates have gotten so much more expensive. I can't find a reliable car that has the same monthly payment of $450 a month that I've been paying now for a new car. Not necessarily new, but new to me. Groceries are insane, and it feels like every day I get a new email from another subscription that I have, whether it's Netflix, my website subscription, everything's increasing in price. And I sit pretty much every day stressed about money, and yet I know that there are so many people in this country that are way worse off than me, and they're not making it, y'all. They're not making it. What hurts me the most is that there are so many women, especially, that just cannot afford to leave abusive homes and they have to stay in it because of this economy. So are we great again, America? Like, is this what you voted for? Meanwhile, they all sit there in DC not feeling any of these pressures, not doing anything about it, not giving a shit about the American people. I have been extremely poor and I have been extremely wealthy. And I know from firsthand experience that the wealthy people don't notice it. And most people are pretty self-absorbed and aren't thinking about other people anyway. So we got to talk about this more. We got to raise hell. We have to let DC know that this is not acceptable. Regardless of your party, we have got to help each other.
Life has gotten so expensive that it's not even worth trying to be frugal anymore. There's no point. You want a crashing out video about cost of living? Here's a crashing out video. So last month, our water bill was pretty high, $217 for the month. It was the highest I've ever had. I'm like, okay, let me look into this. Our usage was a little high. So I talked to my girlfriend. I say, let's try to conserve water. We did everything right. For the entire month, we turned off the sink while we were doing our dishes. We took short showers. I even used a timer during my showers. We consolidated loads of laundry. We did everything we could to save water. And you know what? We did a damn good job. We saved 500 gallons, which is awesome. You know, that is a great improvement. You want to guess how much my water bill was for this month? $215. We used 500 gallons less, and I saved $2 whole. Are you actually for real right now? But Zach, how could this be? The fees and the taxes went up so much in the course of 1 month. That's all we saved. So what's the point? Why am I being frugal about it? Doesn't make any sense. Just 5 years ago, my water bill was $130 a month. Granted, it was just myself. Now we're 2 people. I get it. It's going to go up, but come on. There is no such thing as saving money here anymore. There is no such thing as getting ahead, putting together a retirement. None of that. It is impossible. I don't know about you, but I don't think this is sustainable. I don't think anybody can afford anything anymore. And it's getting scary. So, yeah.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and Of course, the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself.
There is a cost of living crisis in America, with millions of Americans struggling to pay for housing, childcare, healthcare. Maryland's state comptroller put out a report recently saying that working-aged, middle-income households are moving away to more affordable states. So how big of a problem is that? What are you doing about it?
I mean, it is a national problem, but it is a very big problem in the state of Maryland. It's just harder to get by. And frankly, it's not fair. When I'm watching 37% of young Marylanders say that they would consider leaving the state for one reason: housing costs. When I'm watching people who are saying, I don't understand how my energy bill went from $250 to $800, it's not fair to them. And I know, I think about my mom. I look at the situation that we grew up in. Like, I didn't grow up from a family of wealth. Like, this kind of stuff matters. In fact, my mother still to this day is like, why is my energy bill so high? So I get it every day.
And so what's your answer to your mother?
So, honestly, my answer is that we have not done enough to be able to really fortify the grid, to get more energy options. We haven't done enough when it comes to housing to be able to build more housing.
I want to know how people are surviving, because if your electric bill looks anything like mine or close to it, I mean, mind you, I have a 2-family home, but it has 3 floors. My tenant does pay her own utilities. I am in charge of my floor and the basement, you can say. And this is what it came out to. It's usually like $400. In the summer, it could probably be like $500 because of the central air. And I do have a pool, but this is crazy. I don't know how people are going to survive this. I live in New Jersey. I know that it's in other states also, but I live in and it's not even the best town. I live in an expensive town. Rents here are astronomical. They're just insane. And being able to pay your rent and then you have to pay a bill that's this high, or even let's say in the 500s. How are people even doing it? How are people surviving? I just don't get how a governor, a mayor, anybody can really allow this to happen to your people who vote for you.
According to data from U.S. Bureau Labor of Statistics, inflation in recent years has significantly increased the cost of everyday essentials. Grocery bill that once cost $150 now push to $250. Filling of tank of gas feel like a luxury. Rents in many cities are soared beyond what average workers can comfortably afford. In states like California, Texas, and Florida, rent increase has outpaced wage growth. Meanwhile, water bill, electricity, and basic utility continue climbing. What even more concerning, many Americans are not just doing one job, but 2 or 3. Yet, despite the extra hours, overtime shifts, and side hustle, take-home pay often feels swallowed by rising expenses. Even supporters of Make America Great Again movement, commonly known as MAGA, are publicly voicing frustration. Many believe economic conditions will improve dramatically, yet today some are expressing discomfort, uncertainty, even desperation as they struggle to stay afloat. This is no longer about politics, it's about surviving. Family are cutting back on meat, choosing cheaper brand, delaying medical visits, and postponing vacation. Some are moving in with their relative. Others are dipping into saving meant for emergency. We give credit to the Stitches video used in this documentary that capture everyday Americans sharing their struggling. Their honest reflect what many are silently enduring. The American dream has always been tied to hard work. But today, many are asking if we are working hard than ever, why does it feel like we are falling behind? Now, we want to hear from you. How are you coping with this present inflation rate in America? Are you budgeting differently? Picking up side income? Relocating? Drop your experience in the comments. Your story could help someone feel less alone. To everyone going through financial hardship right now, this season does not define your future. Economies circle, rise and fall. History showed that tough financial periods have always tested resilience, but they have never lasted forever. For the Great Recession to pass inflation crisis, America has faced hardship before, and communities have found ways to rebuild. If you are working multiple jobs and still struggling, know this: your effort is not wasted. Your discipline, your strength, your preservation, and these are building character that no economy can take from you. Here are some practical suggestions during difficult time. Revisit your budget monthly, not yearly. Consider community buying groups or bulk purchasing. Learn one high income skill that can increase earning potential. Most importantly, protect your mental health. Do not suffer in silence. Talk to friends, talk to family. Seek financial counseling. There is strength in community, and remember, our time reveals strong people. If this video resonates with you, like this video, subscribe to Truth Verdict, and share it so more voice can be heard. Together, we face the truth. Together, we find solution. Stay strong, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.